All right, on this video, I'm going to just share something that I recently learned. I was reading a book called High Performance Habits, and the book mentioned something that I didn't know about Mr. Beast. And it was that essentially at one point in time, before he was successful, he recorded videos of himself addressing his future self in different timelines, in a year's time, 5 years time, and I don't know how much more into the future, maybe, because it hasn't been more than the 5 years, right? But I found that exercise extremely fascinating, given that I very much enjoy tracking my progress and seeing where I started and comparing it to where I am now. Particularly in this current season of my life where it's a frustrating season, to be completely honest. I'm just working nonstop for very little results to show for, just being brutally honest. And that is the cause of a lot of reflection lately. And I don't want it to sound like I'm ungrateful or not appreciative of what I have or what I've been able to do. It's just that my goals and my ambitions are so high, and especially being surrounded by people who are so successful. And I see the little amount of effort that they put into developing themselves or into working or just themselves in general, really. Let's just round it at that. That it baffles me that I basically spend every waking hour of my life trying to build myself, focus on the skills that I need to develop, become the best version that I can, learn as much as I can, work, be disciplined, be relentless, no matter how I'm feeling, no matter if I'm tired, no matter if I'm frustrated, because that's basically a constant feeling, and it has been for the past two years, I would say. And it's been extremely challenging. Financially, there's a lot of debt and things that went wrong, plans with businesses that just didn't work. I failed, but I've kept trying. And it's been an interesting time for sure. So I decided to do that exercise where I decided to record myself addressing my future self in a year's time and 5 years time. And before actually recording the videos, what's interesting is that I actually have a folder in my laptop. By the way, you can see that today is October 31st, 2024. But I have a folder that's literally titled for when I make it. And for years now, I would say for 3-4 years now, I've been focused on getting rich, really, that's it, just becoming a millionaire. Two reasons, maybe more, but like two main reasons. One, because I've seen people who haven't developed themselves as much and yet they were able to do it. So I'm curious to see if I develop myself or what the version of myself that achieves that goal will look like. That's one. And the second is because money is extremely important in this world. Like it or not, that's the reality. If I actually want to be able to make any significant impact in my girlfriend's life, my family's life, my future children's lives, my brother's lives, my parents' lives, you need money. Yeah, money is needed. Yeah, that is TLDR. There's no way around it. You can't do shit if you don't have money. You can't help anyone if you don't have money. You're not free if you don't have money. You can't really enjoy life if you don't have money. Especially when you are, I've actually been blessed that I've had the opportunity to be surrounded by people who have insane amounts of money. And maybe that was a bad thing, I don't know. But just being exposed to it and just seeing that there has been an entirely different life than what I grew up seeing or even aware of for the great majority of my life is something that just completely destroyed my view of the world, of reality. It is insane. And I spent a great part of the past 4 years breaking and undoing a lot of the limiting beliefs that I've had through all my whole life growing up, right? And I've tried a lot of things, tried businesses, I've made some money, I failed on others. I've tried other things. I've kept going. I'm willing to work. I've swallowed my ego, gotten back to a regular, well, not a regular, gotten back to working for someone else, just looking to learn, to build myself, develop myself after realizing that I had a lot of gaps in my development, etc. It's been a hell of a journey that I don't want to come across as ungrateful or complaining. I'm just sharing it because one, it's mostly for not just myself, but for anyone out there who is also going through a similar period in their lives where it's the phase where no one gives a fuck about you. You're alone, you're constantly working, you don't have time to enjoy yourself, you don't have time to go out. You feel like despite you planning every single second of your day, there's just not enough fucking time. There's not enough energy to be super productive for 60, 70 hours a week, train efficiently, sleep, be an excellent boyfriend, go out, have a social life, meet up with the G's, do shit. It's like there's been no balance in my life for the past 3 years or so. And this message is essentially for the people who are completely out of balance as well, because they're pushing towards something more. And the reason is because I don't know why. My whole life I've been relentless, I would say. That's my favorite word and one that I love using to describe myself, because even though many times I feel frustrated and many times I question myself, if I'm so fucking smart, because objectively I am fucking smart and I know it, then why the fuck has this all been such a grind? Maybe it's meant to be that way. And then I think, damn, but I grew up in a fucking miserable island in the middle of the Caribbean where I would spend months without electricity. And I've now gotten a chance to travel the world, meet a lot of interesting, successful individuals, been to places that I never thought I'd visit, do things that I never thought I would even, but that I never conceived possible, as ridiculous as those things may seem. Just an example that came to mind, I went to Miami a few months ago and I got a chance to drive a McLaren 570. I think it was 570 or 720, one of the two. That car costs more than my parents' entire existence. And those are things that just completely break my mind. Like I've assimilated now, but back then it was like, what the fuck? This, just imagining my parents working 60 years of their life, their entire existence, and it still wouldn't be enough to get that car. It's like, fuck. And this is after me realizing that freedom was gonna come only one way, and it was gonna be through sheer brute force. Because all my life, I've truly felt like an underdog. All my life, I've felt like I've had a chip on my shoulder. All my life, completely unpopular, chip on my shoulder, something to prove. That's been my personality. It's driven me to everything that I've done, and that I do, and that I continue to do. And it's gotten to a point where I can't stop. I just can't turn it off, you know? Because the belief I have now is that if I really want to change the circumstances of the people that I care about, I have to be the one to suffer through all this. And again, I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm not looking for pity. I'm not looking for any of that. It's just that the work will go unnoticed, and it's been years. And I've heard this from many successful entrepreneurs and people who made it, that the work will go unnoticed until you actually win. And I'm at that stage right now. It is what it is. I'm going through a period of the lonely chapter, let's call it, another couple years of personal development where it's just head down, focused to see to see what comes out really, because there's no guarantee. There hasn't been, there never is, never will be. But I'm glad I have the personality to try and keep trying, even if it feels like nothing changes. But going back to the original point of the video, so like I said, even though it feels like nothing changes, that's why I think exercises like this one are important. Just tracking everything, just journaling, keeping track of how I used to think back in the day, or the problems that I was facing a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So last year was a very difficult year. I lost a lot of money, basically all of my savings, trying to make a business work that just didn't work. I did learn a lot though. And after that whole experience, this past year has really been just me stabilizing, which is related to the whole like just work, very little results, just getting everything back in order. But I am grateful, and I feel grateful for, despite going through all that, like I have a great life. Like everything is in order. I have a place to live. I have food to eat. I have a great relationship. I have great friends. I have people to hang around with. I still keep in touch with my family. Family is great. All that, wonderful. But it's just, I don't even know what to say, man. It's just, it's a very reflection-inducing chapter, I would say. I don't know. So I've made those videos addressing myself because there's been times where I feel like I'm literally, like I just question myself, what's the point? And it's mainly just to remind myself to keep going, right? Because these are the things that I go to as a source when I don't have motivation to do shit, which happens a lot, but I still do it. And that's something that I don't tell anyone, and it's something that you should also get in the habit of doing. There's many times where I go to the gym where I don't really feel like going, wake up to work when I don't want to go to work when I don't want to work, or study when I don't want to study. It's a lot, but it's cool. It's building me up into Johnny 10.0, man. It's just, it's part of the process. I understand that. So mainly, if you're someone who's also going through this, I understand that this is as worse as it gets. Like literally can't get any worse than this. So, I mean, I went through rougher periods. I survived a fucking hurricane that left the whole island without power for like 3 months. So, and I'm still here. I'm still standing. So yeah, 1 year video, 5 year video, interesting exercise because it's like self-projecting of thinking what is going to be fulfilled at that point in time. So I've made those videos, they're scheduled. Maybe I'll forget about them because life moves so fast these days. I'm gonna be 31 next year. And the older you get, the faster time goes by for some reason. So I'm excited to see what future Johnny does, what he accomplishes, the fuck did I say? Accomplishes, and where we are, where I'm at. So, yeah, I think I'll leave the video at that. I ranted a lot, rambled a lot. I'm just sharing my thoughts as they come to my mind. We'll see.